Well, good morning, everyone. I'm John Andersen, and I've been attending church here since 1978. It's an honor to share a portion of my story with you this morning. In 1946, I was born in Willaca, Florida, a little town of 400 up on the St. Johns River, where my parents owned and operated a fishing lodge. Growing up there was fantastic. My mother was a Presbyterian blue blood from Savannah, so I grew up going to church and getting plenty of guilt. Our life there was basically stable, but didn't include much religious discussion. My dad was a Norwegian sea captain and World War II veteran, so he spent a lot of time with me and taught me to do many things. When I was 11, they sold the lodge and we moved to Jacksonville, but unfortunately, when I was 16, my dad died, leaving an enormous void in my life. Fast forward to 1976, the life I was living was all about me. Prideful, arrogant, and condescending. My cousin from Savannah, who was involved with many Christian organizations, loved me enough to come to Orlando and spend time with me. On March 11th, 1976, he took me to a Christian conference in Melbourne. On the way, he handed me his Bible and asked me to read some verses from Romans and the whole 9th chapter of Acts, where Saul met the resurrected Christ on the road to Damascus and was converted. I also was converted and prayed to receive Christ that morning. Unfortunately, I didn't change. For the next 20 years or more, I was still the arrogant, prideful, condescending man, living a life all about me, spending money I didn't have, buying things I didn't need to impress people I really didn't know or even like. In 1996, I had driven my family into bankruptcy, was broke, and didn't even own a home. Fortunately, I had a wonderful wife whom I had the good fortune to marry right here on this platform 44 years ago this coming Thursday. She loved me and didn't abandon me, but instead stayed by my side and helped me to get the help I so desperately needed. In 2000, God sent a man who asked me if I would like to have a mentor. Only God would have done that because I certainly didn't deserve it. He spent time with me and introduced me to Pat Morley's Man of the Mirror Bible study. Over the next few years, God transformed me from a cultural Christian to a biblical Christian. Then God sent another man who taught me how to become a disciple maker, and at age 55, I found God's calling and purpose for my life. I still struggle. Over the next 23 years, God led me to disciple dozens of men following 2 Timothy 2:2, where Paul instructed Timothy to train faithful men who in turn would teach others. There's 4 generations there. I became a table leader at Man of the Mirror, and through me, God raised up 6 other table leaders. During this time, God brought Dr. Steve Clinton into my life, who personally tutored me over the next 2 years through a master's degree in ministry and discipleship. I still struggle with a lot of demons, as I'm sure many of you do. But now I know and understand how significant a life can be. Trusting God's plan for my life, not trusting my plan. And I can tell you from personal experience that living by God's plan works much better. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for allowing me to share a portion of my story. God bless.